Notice there's no compassion for the normal people huddled in their homes, sitting there as thousands of criminals are released onto the streets. Nobody cares about them. She doesn't. That's obvious. But there's more. In many cities, authorities are actually ordering police to stop protecting the public, to stop doing their jobs. In the city of Philadelphia, police have been ordered to avoid arrests, even for significant crimes. Drug offenses, prostitution, and vandalism obviously are tolerated. But now, burglary and car theft get a pass. A person could break into your home in Philadelphia and not be arrested. Imagine that. Instead, the police will just issue a summons for a later court appearance and send them on their way with a prayer that they'll show up. In Fort Worth, police will no longer make arrests for theft under $100 or for vandalism. Vandalism. In a moment when people are really on edge. In Los Angeles County, that's a jurisdiction with 9 million people living there, the Sheriff's Department is only arresting 60 people a day. In a jurisdiction of 9 million, that's down from 300 a day before coronavirus. All of this is exacerbating, obviously, what is a very volatile situation. Schools are closed, meaning that there are millions of teenagers with nothing to do. Most of them are good kids, obviously, but they are teenagers. And some will be troublemakers because that's what they're like. Young people. So how will they behave when they realize they can loot stores, steal cars, or trash public places without the police responding to it? What do you think this is? You know what it is. It's a recipe for chaos, and people can feel it. That's why across the country, gun sales have surged the first half of the month. It's rational. If the police announce they're not going to protect you, they're not going to do their jobs because the politicians controlling them won't allow them, and then they're releasing criminals back into your neighborhood, what does that mean? It means it falls on you to protect yourself and your family, but you knew that. But some in power can't handle that idea. The mayor of Champaign, Illinois, for example, is claiming emergency powers that include the right to suspend gun sales. The mayor of New Orleans is claiming even more power. She claims if she wants to, she can ban the transport of weapons too, effectively abolishing concealed carry. Obviously, it's tyranny, but it's deeper than that. So the government fails to protect you, it makes your life more dangerous, and then it tries to prevent you from protecting yourself. What is that? Think about that for a minute. It's really ominous. Nicole Maliotakis is a member of the New York State Assembly and ran for New York mayor against Bill de Blasio. Wish she'd won, she didn't, but she's here tonight, and we're happy about it. Nicole, thanks so much for joining us. Are you worried about this combination of factors, all of them created by our leaders, that it's going to make our streets more dangerous?
Absolutely. It's absolutely disgraceful that we have elected officials that are actually entertaining this during a crisis emergency situation. We should be instead calming people down. We should try to relieve their anxiety and work with them to make their lives easier, not put them in a situation where they are more scared of what may potentially be happening. I think what we're hearing from members of the squad and members across the country that are pushing for this is absolutely unacceptable. And the idea here in New York that we would even consider this when, as you know, I've been on your show multiple times talking about this dangerous bail law that took effect January 1st. Already 90% of the arrested population is being released. So what's left in Rikers Island are suspected murderers, rapists, gang members, heavy drug traffickers, and certainly that's not what we should be releasing back onto our street during this particularly difficult time or ever.
So I'm not a paranoid person. I assume good intent among the people I disagree with. I think most people kind of want to make the country better. But if you see a concerted effort to make the country more dangerous, more chaotic, what are you looking at? Why are they doing that? What's the idea behind this? Do you know?
I think in many ways it is a power grab. I think they do want to cause disruption, and I think that's something that's very disturbing. Look, I may be running for Congress right now, but I am currently a state legislator, and I could tell you here in my community, we're working together, bipartisan fashion, to get things done, whether it be looking to expand beds in our community for those who are going to be ill, expanding testing, making sure that we're working to give economic relief to our businesses and to our residents. That should be the focus of all elected officials across the country right now, not what individuals like the member that you played earlier is talking about just to create chaos.
She's a disgrace.
Public
She's a
safety
disgrace
has
to
to be first.
Congress, that person. Of course it does. And to use a crisis to push your own creepy little hobby horse that'll make America worse and put people's lives in danger, you should be ashamed. And Ayanna Pressley should be ashamed of herself. I mean that.
Well, I hope to.
Thanks so much for joining us tonight.
I appreciate it, and hopefully
I hope you go to Washington,
conservative
too.
squad in Washington. But right now we have a
tell
job
it to her
to do,
face.
and we're working together to do it. Thank you. Thank you, Tucker.
Amen. Thank you. Across the country, Americans are literally lining up outside gun stores ahead of what could be some kind of shutdown.
Toilet paper, hand sanitizer, and now gun supplies. Lines weave around gun shops.
You know, I've been robbed before. You know, who says that the people aren't going to start robbing for food? And that's scary.
When you feel uncertainty about your security, you want to do something about it.
Many of them are first-time firearm owners who are learning how to use a weapon to protect themselves and their families.
Coronavirus uncertainty has led to a spike of guns and ammo sales at his store.
They sold upwards of 40 to 50 guns yesterday alone.
That is a big uptick from a typical day.
Owner Andrew Chernoff says sales are soaring as fears of coronavirus continue to climb.
We got in a bunch of guns. I'm sure by the end of the day we will be out of guns again. We are now seeing a lot of first-time gun buyers who never would have thought to buy a gun before, who are now saying, I need to have something to protect myself.
And just to be clear, a lot of these people who've never owned a gun before, if the public believed their leaders would protect them, they wouldn't be buying guns. But they know their leaders won't, and so they are. And this infuriates Democrats. In New York, Nassau County Executive Laura Curran attacked people for trying to protect themselves amid this uncertainty.
Guns are not going to fight the virus. What will fight the virus is people staying home and isolating themselves and not having birthday parties and weddings and clustering together in big groups.
Arrogant, stupid,